My child is being severely bullied and has been getting into fights, but he is the one getting the blame and excluded for a couple of days at a time. I feel that it's relevant that he is an Irish traveller child. What should I do in this situation when I feel that he is unfairly getting the blame for these fights starting?
So there are a few things. First thing is obviously to make one's concerns known to the school about bullying as soon as possible. Just don't let the thing escalate. Generally, the sooner it's sort of stamped on, the better. And that is a sort of issue of ensuring that the kids know that if they get bullied, they tell the parents tell the school. And that's preferably, telling the school by phone calls, and also if something can be put in an email. So there's a paper trail that is useful too. Doesn't have to be very sophisticated. My son Frank is getting bullied by, Joe and James because of whatever it may be. They've done this, this, and that. Please, can you help stop it? Yeah,
Yeah.
does not have to be, sophisticated. So that's the first thing with all the bullying stuff is tell the school. And the other thing is that I'm aware from my experience of acting for many children, particularly from the traveller community, that sometimes um, parents or sort of or fathers, uncles, or whatever indicate that the way to dealing with bullying is to ensure that you're not, I suppose, a soft target and to hit back. Um,
Mhm.
the problem with that as an approach is that um, schools tend not to like it, and that can obviously lead to suspensions and so forth. Um, and it often doesn't work as a tactic either, particularly nowadays where people have friends, people have phones, things are, things can be filmed, people can bring their mates in on the sort of onto the issue.
And we
Um,
see the increase in knife crime as well, which I think is really
correct,
relevant. That if
correct,
you're
correct,
encouraging your children to fight back, it could be fatal in some cases.
correct. I was, it depends, I suppose, to a degree on the age of the kids, and it depends also on who's causing the trouble. Um,
Mm,
but it is generally, I have put it another way, I haven't seen it work as a strategy.
mm.
Um, I can't think of anyone I've represented whose initial response before it came my way was hitting back harder, who actually solved the problem in that way.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, it just continues to breed that hate or dislike between the two children, and that's not going to resolve the issue, is it?
and it develop, what now happens is that it's also it's feud, so it's not just a little fight and that's it. It's often something that's been filmed
Hmm.
and then goes around and then you know brings in people bring in reinforcements and so forth. Um,
Yeah.
it's not people go tail between the legs. So I, it's just not really it's not a clever strategy. One has to tackle the school um, in respect of trying to get them to engage with the bullying. I mean, so something that people can do is make clear that schools need to be dealing with bullying properly and effectively seek to make it an equality issue,
Mm.
because often, or certainly the children that I've represented, there's um, there's been a significant degree of racial content in the bullying, um, and effectively what you're saying to the school is actually if you're not dealing with this sort of bullying properly, that's indirectly race discrimination, because children from gypsy and traveller backgrounds and other minority backgrounds or who are disabled are more likely to be on the receiving end of this sort of abuse than children who are not from a minority group. And
Yeah.
I have found in the past that indicating to the school that in failing to deal with the bullying, they were sort of indirectly racially discriminating, they suddenly took notice. I've never needed to actually go any further. It would
Mm.
normally result in the school suddenly engaging, having a meeting with the parents, and trying to then sort things out.